Hey, Aaron Whitlow.
You know me, I'm Brandon Spivey.
Yeah, we are the Markout movie podcasters. And on today's episode, we are looking at Harry and the Hendersons. So let me go ahead and show you a clip.
For ages, he has hidden in the forest, eluded hunters, baffled scientists, and remained a mystery until the Hendersons bumped into him.
What is it?
It's a major discovery. We have to take it home.
George. It's alive!
It's eating my 15th birthday corsage.
Uh-oh.
George, he's coming back!
Stall him!
I can't! How?
Show him the pasta maker!
This is our home! Our stuff!
Oh, sit. Exercise, Irene.
This is it. The whole world's gonna know. Ran away.
I gotta find him. I'm going to kill him. Means something to me. Can't you see that? He means something to me.
We'll never see him again, will we?
What I'm going to say now might save his life.
There has been yet another sighting of the creature that some people are now calling
Harry!
So Harry and the Hendersons. We're going to go ahead. Let me get this pulled up. That's what we're reviewing, 1987's Harry and the Henderson. The Henderson family adopts a friendly Sasquatch, but have a hard time trying to keep the legend of Bigfoot a secret. This movie came out in 1987 and stars John Lithgow as George Henderson, Melinda Dillon as Nancy Henderson, Margaret Langridge as Sarah Henderson, Joshua Rudo as Ernie Henderson, and I want to specifically point out Kevin Peter Hall as Harry. He also played the Predator. He's a very tall guy. He passed away, I would say, in the late 80s, early 90s of AIDS. He caught it from, I don't know, this is dark now, but he caught it from, I believe he had a blood transfusion, and he caught it that way. And then Jacques Lafleur was played by David Suchet. And the last one I really want to show is Dr. Wallace Wrightwood was played by Don Ameche. And also Emmett Walsh, right?
Yeah,
He has the numbers for you. Go for it.
I have the numbers.
Maybe.
I have the numbers. It's got a 6 out of 10 on IMDb, 4 out of 5 on Common Sense.
Never heard of that one.
They have common sense, Aaron.
I guess so.
It's got 83% on Google. On the Rotten Tomato meter, it's got a 43%, and the audience score is not much better at 54%. So overall, for Rotten Tomatoes, it's a dud.
It's crazy because this is a movie that I remember as a child as being, I guess, grander than I guess, it was like it was not Gremlins level or Goonies level or E.T. level, but it was just like that next little tier under there for me as like a escapism type of film.
It's a very fun family film. It was a lot of fun. John Lithgow.
I call him Lithgow.
Lithgow. John,
great actor,
is tremendous in this movie. I love him in this movie. This is like one of my favorite characters he's ever played.
He's played everything from serial killers to like
terrorist
from
Cliffhanger.
He was I've never seen Cliffhanger, so
what?
Never seen Cliffhanger. Just never been a big Sly fan, but
don't hurt me. Do not hurt me now. We just started. All right, we just started.
But yeah, I mean, I've never, but yeah, I know him from Raising Cain.
I thought you was gonna say the Alien show they did, Third Rock from the Sun.
Yeah, that too. That's when I seen more of the comedic side of him. I knew he was more a serious actor. Like my first time seeing him was in what's it called, Twilight Zone, the movie.
Oh,
He was the guy on the plane.
I haven't seen.
That he's the guy. He did a really good job. He's the guy that had a gremlin on the plane.
An
Which
actual
is
gremlin?
no, it's not like the Mogwais, but it was a gremlin. So that episode initially it was I was gonna say James T. Kirk, but it was William Shatner playing that role in the actual episode of that. But in the film version of it, it's John Lithgow. Yeah, but that's where I knew him from. That and Raising Cain, and then later on Third Rock. Later on, he reinvented himself in Dexter. So
He was in Dexter.
oh yeah, he's in
I
Dexter.
have to watch it
Oh
now.
my goodness.
Which I mean, I gotta watch it anyway.
He's
but-
totally in Dexter. Oh my goodness.
I didn't know he was in Dexter.
He steals the show.
Does he steal it?
He steals it.
Well, of course he steals it.
He's John
You know what he
Lithgow.
stole also? Pet Cemetery.
What part of Pet Cemetery?
Judd.
That is
The
not
remake.
the same guy.
The remake. Yeah, it is.
Oh, in the remake. I forget about that movie because it's terrible, but he was really good in it.
Okay, he says he forgot about it because it was terrible, but when we reviewed it, he really liked it.
You know what I didn't like about it? The trailer, and that still is remaining consistent.
A lot of people don't like the movie.
I would have liked it if they wouldn't have showed what they showed in the trailer.
The
They gave away.
review we did, you liked.
I liked it for the most part.
Most part.
But I don't like that they give away some of the sweetness. The
Here's
heat.
here's reality though. You know I'm telling the truth on this one too. You watch most trailers. I don't care when they are.
I try to avoid them now, but yes,
But they ruin the movies.
they do.
I just thought it was gay, but then I go back and watch like older trailers, like in the '80s, and I feel like I just watched the whole movie.
yeah. And
They've always done it.
In this case of Harry and the Hendersons, we just saw essentially the whole movie.
Yeah, I mean,
Like because for one, a Dr. What's the name? The dude that played in I want to say he played in Popeye. He was Popeye. No, he wasn't in Popeye.
I haven't seen
He played in Trading Places.
oh, that guy.
He's Randolph or Mortimer, one of them.
Yeah,
He's one of the wealthy guys. But anyway,
he's wealthy.
yeah. But he like in this movie, he doesn't quite reveal that he is that guy.
Yeah,
He's the doctor, and so the trailer kind of gives that away.
yeah.
I wonder if it's a trailer that they made after the fact. Like in the 80s, I don't recall if they just really released trailers like that. Trailers are known for trailers because they used to trail the movies. That's why they call trailers. But did you know that?
I did not.
That's pretty cool then. But yeah, but I don't know. This movie though, what do you feel about it, Brandon? The fact that not a lot of people liked it. Or is it because that not a lot of people saw it?
I think people have seen this movie. Maybe not though. I mean, it's not one of those movies you talk about like The Goonies or E.T. or something from that era. You don't ever hear people say, "Hey, let's watch Harry and the Hendersons."
That's true.
You don't hear about it, and I love Bigfoot. Like I'm a massive
Who
fan.
doesn't?
Well, a lot of people
I
think
like
it's
Bigfoot.
like it's a big joke, and it might be. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying I believe it is.
I used to really.
But I love the myth of Bigfoot, and so when we were going to watch this, I was excited just to see Bigfoot again.
Yeah.
But then you remember Harry, and you're like, he's such a lovable guy.
Yeah. So growing up, I remember going to my library in school. I want to say it's at Parker Bennett. So I remember going to that library and checking out like monster books. Books that have like different monsters or whatnot. And one of the monsters that it had Loch Ness Monster. I remember looking at a Loch Ness Monster. But I was really fascinated by Bigfoot. I was fascinated when I finally seen the footage of him walking and looking back. I always meticulously look at that footage. It was like, no, that can't be a dude because the way that he's walking and stuff like that. And it was shaky, but I mean, even here in Kentucky, we have a legend of a Sasquatch creature.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't really know about the tale, but yeah, we
I
have a
know
local legend. Not well, I think it. What part of Kentucky? You know?
There's been sightings in Lewisburg. There's also been sightings here in Bowling Green.
Mhm.
But I was going to write a book about Bigfoot, and I was researching it, and just to get some people's tales of the sightings they've seen. There was a lot of sightings in Lewisburg, Kentucky, and there was quite a few in Bowling Green, and of course, no one believes them, But I'm fascinated with the lore of Bigfoot, and
It is fascinating.
I was very excited that we were going to review this movie.
Yeah, I mean it is very exciting. But yeah, so
because it is the best Sasquatch movie there is.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I can't honestly think of another one other than the creature of Bogey Creek, or something like that. But
I think
Bogey Lake, Bogey Creek, one of them. I've never really saw that, but
I think I watched it one night on Amazon.
Yeah, but this one does a way of kind of helping you to stop being prejudiced towards this creature, because we assume, oh, a big scary creature, and in reality, in this movie, Harry is such a lovable, gentle giant.
They take the ET approach with him.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt like a Spielberg film, but it's not. But Amblin had something to do with this.
I mean, the actress that plays the mother is a Dee Wallace lookalike.
She really is. It's like they couldn't get Dee, but they got her.
Yeah, I felt the same way when I watched it. Like for years, I would rewatch the Christmas Story. It's like, man, she looks so much like Dee Wallace.
It was her from the Christmas.
Yeah,
I was just sitting there thinking.
She's actually been in a Spielberg film too. The Richard Dreyfuss alien movie, Third
Encounter, Close Encounters. Third Encounter. Yeah, that one. Yeah, with the mashed potatoes. But it's crazy because Harry, it's our first view of Harry, which but so let me set up the premise. We're not going to really go over the whole thing because we're going to assume that you've seen this movie. All right, George, right? George Henderson and his family are on this camping trip, and he went hunting. His son killed a rabbit, and they was driving back, and this is a live shot of them. This is taking place in Washington State, and so they're driving back to Seattle, and end up hitting Bigfoot accidentally, like the glare, and they hit him with his. The vehicle he's driving reminds me of the vehicle in Family Vacation, which you've never seen, right?
Not. Is that you talking about the first one?
Yeah,
I've seen the first one.
Okay.
And I've seen Christmas.
Okay.
Those are the only two that I've seen.
Yeah, those are the only two that count, really. But anyway, he hits him, and he thinks, oh, well, this is Bigfoot. We can take it and sell it, get money. And so they load him up on the car, get him to the house, and Bigfoot comes to life. And at the same time, there's Guy LaFleur, I think his name, that's hunting Bigfoot as well. He feels he is a creature that needs to be killed, and he's not really taken serious. But George,
just like all people that believe in Bigfoot, are not taken serious.
Yeah. But George, he when he first sees him, and his family first encounter him, they see him as this monster. But it honestly takes the daughter and the son to humanize him a bit.
Yeah.
Because the daughter gets on him because he eats her corsage, and he just was like, the way he kind of like shriveled down to her yelling at him. It's like a puppy, and then the son took a liking to him, but they start seeing him as not a monster.
But, I mean, he's not a monster, but yeah. I mean, you see Sasquatch on a family trip, camping trip at that. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be scared. You're gonna be terrified. It's like, because it's a 7 foot, 8 foot creature.
The actor, he was like a good 7 to 8 foot. Like he was, like he played a predator. Like think about the scale between the Predator and Schwarzenegger.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I mean,
You know how tall he was to compared to Schwarzenegger, who's also pretty tall, I think, right?
Arnold's like 6'4", 6'5",
Yeah.
6'6". He's in the mid sixes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Arnold's not. He's not sly.
Mm-mm.
Still, even though still, I'm not gonna get onto it, but yeah, I mean, when you first meet Harry, you would be terrified of this creature, and you wouldn't even look at him, as a creature. I mean, you would just look at him as a monster.
Yeah.
And they do humanize him, and I think that's great. I think the approach here was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
To say, let's make a family film about
Bigfoot.
Yeah, the legend of Bigfoot, and then it's like, let's put our own little Spielberg twist to it. Feel that little magic, and I love it. I absolutely adore this movie.
And
I really do.
And I feel that that no other Bigfoot, there's been other family centered Bigfoot films, but none of them has really like touched Harry and the Hendersons,
No.
in my opinion. Like even what's Sasquatch? Is it called Sasquatch? What's that? No, Abominable, which was an animated movie about the abominable snowman, it's the same genre. The Yeti is pretty much the winter version of Sasquatch, and so which I think of I don't know. I get into the mythos of it.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I enjoyed Abominable. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
But
I didn't know if you like it because I'm not sure if they made it DreamWorks or not, but
I liked it. Yeah, I don't blanket it hate every DreamWorks movie. I did like How to Train Your Dragon, but I just don't like. I just think that I like that they finally found their own niche and didn't really try to, duplicate what Pixar did, and that's when they started hitting their own stride, in my opinion.
You gotta find your own voice.
Yeah,
and I. Not to get off on it, but I absolutely adored that movie, Abominable. That other Bigfoot movie they did animated was terrible though. I forget it.
Feet or something like that.
Yeah, Smallfoot.
Smallfoot, yeah.
I think it won an Academy Award. I think you said it won an Academy Award, and I was like, I don't know. I don't even know how it was nominated. Like my kid went to sleep on that movie.
So there's just name a few. And as you can see, the first one that you really see is 87's Harry and the Henderson. Yeah. And so everything kind of came after that, other than Bigfoot in 1970, but that's more of a horror, I would say.
What I hate about the Bigfoot genre is most of them, they do make him to be a monster, and they put it in a horror genre, and I hate that. It's cheap, and I don't like it.
And you saw another movie where a guy, what's it one guy that was fighting Bigfoot, right?
Sam Elliott?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were just looking at it.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. The Man Who Killed Hitler and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
That's a good movie though. I like the movie. I just didn't like the design of Bigfoot. But the overall movie I thought was really well.
So The Legend of Bogey Creek is another what you would consider a Bigfoot film. For those that want to see it. Right there, it's another like Bigfoot movie that came out in the 80s, but it's not this. The thing about Harry and the Hendersons is it came out after E.T. It came out after Goonies, because the Goonies 84, 85, I think.
85, I believe.
And
E.T. was 82.
82. So this came out towards the tail end of the 80s, 87, and but it still captured the magic of the 80s.
We're approaching one of my favorite scenes in the movie where George is climbing up that ladder. He's got his gun. He's going to look at him in the scope.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really the moment for me where they humanized Harry and George.
And also, man, hats off to John in this movie. He the way he sees Harry smile at him, and the way that he lights up and smiles, and every time, and hats off to the visual effects of the people who did animatronic for Harry. Just you don't feel at any point that he was really a ferocious
No.
beast. You know, like I love this. So what happens is, as Brandon was saying, George has him in a scope, and he climbs up the ladder, and Harry's in the room, and Harry's coming to the window, and now he's into the light, and he sees George aiming the gun at him, and he's got him through the scope, and then he looks sad for a little bit, and then I think does he do a little gentle smile, or is it all just a
just humanize him right
just
there.
humanize him, like, oh, please don't. He's looking like, please don't kill me.
Yeah.
And
John's face tells the story. I mean, it's like he's not a monster.
Mm-hmm.
This is like one of my favorite moments in the movie. It says so much. There's no dialogue whatsoever, but expressions tell the story.
That's true.
And I love that.
Also, another thing about Harry in this movie is they do a great job. Like Harry feels fleshed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't. He's semi-vegetarian. He eats vegetables. He eats fish, but he doesn't eat beef or anything like that. He's sad when he finds like a mink.
Oh yeah.
Like that
Deer heads.
Yeah, and deer heads and
Oh yeah.
and so he goes. So he comes out and pulls up this this bush and starts burying it, because in the woods. And this is another. This goes to the legend of Sasquatch, and Brandon can tell me if I'm wrong. They say the reason why people never find their bones is that the Sasquatch bury their dead.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
I can't tell if you're wrong or not.
But that's what.
I'm not an expert.
Nobody's an expert. But not we're not experts. But that's what I've read before. It's fascinating. I love cryptozoology, and this is what cryptozoology is about, like mythical creatures.
I've even read that some people believe they come from another dimension. And, I mean, it's really getting. But after seeing Godzilla versus Kong, I'm not going to doubt anything. So, but I'm not going to doubt that they could come from another dimension. I mean, they could. I mean, who knows? I mean, aliens could exist. I mean, you don't know.
So there is this scene in the movie where Harry sees a mounted deer on the wall.
Yeah.
And he goes to free him, and he sees that he's dead. That it's just a carcass on the wall, and so George is hiding the deer heads and tells his wife to stall Harry, and she literally locks the door like it's gonna keep this big creature from getting in the house. But now she's like playing with him, like she's patting at the glass, he's patting at the glass, and then like there's a part when Harry puts his hands in the door, and she starts gently like moving his fingers off the door, like one by one.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful. It's funny. Just like to think that someone would do that. Pushes them out like, no, you can't come in. But yeah, it's such a man.
And then when he's calling the cops, the report Bigfoot's in his house, he's destroying his house. I mean, can you imagine calling the cops saying, "Hey, I got a Bigfoot in the house. It's destroying my house." It's a cop film thing. Obviously, it's gonna be a prank call.
Yeah, they will. I mean, he probably was better off just saying a bear's in my house.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or what he should say is an assailant's in my house. Someone's trying to kill me.
Yeah, but then obviously, and that's a part of this movie too. Like they would have came with the guns blazing, ready to kill killing what you don't understand or don't know. And so he had to come to that realization too. He said, "Hey," because he eats his fish, but he had to come to George had to come to the realization that he isn't as the world's depicted. There's another little thing going on in this movie. George, essentially, he works at his father's gun shop, sporting goods store. George is hunting at the beginning. George has trophies in his house because he's inspiring to be like his dad.
Yeah.
Teach his son to be just like, just try to be how his dad is. But in reality, George's dad never really supported his dream. George wanted to be like an artist.
Yeah, an artist.
And his
he's
dad,
very good too.
and his dad never really supported his dream and aspiration.
Yeah, it's a reality. And the one time, when it gets out that Bigfoot is out, the town knows he's there. Then he wants him to draw Bigfoot. He wants him to draw Harry for him, but make him scary.
Mm-hmm.
He does not want to know what he really. It's not that he didn't really want to know what he really looked like. He just expected he's a monster. It'll help sales.
And people and he says you don't want untrained people running around here with guns. This movie's way before its time. He said you don't want untrained people running around here with guns, just shooting at like anything that they see.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what his dad wants. He wants them because he's looking for the bottom line, money.
Yeah, he's looking for those sales.
Mm-hmm.
And how come I don't know if you've actually worked like in retail like that or
not like that in that capacity.
I have, and that's all they care about is sales.
Yeah, I have in a sense. One of my current jobs, that's all they talk about, sales. You know who you are. But anyway,
well, Aaron, I don't work at this place anymore, so I'm good.
Yeah, I am. I'm not, but I'm not gonna, sugarcoat stuff. But anyway,
no sugarcoating here.
No sugarcoating on the Markout Movie Podcast. Also, a couple other things. They have a nosy neighbor who pops up all the time. I thought that she's supposed to be like more comedic relief, I guess, but she was just a nuisance to me.
Yeah, I agree.
I think she drains. And no offense to this lady, but I felt like she drains the film every time she's on screen. I just felt like she was like this movie could work without her completely, because him just wrecking the house is bad enough.
Yeah, she really, honestly, didn't really help the movie any. She was just kind of there, being annoying.
So they got a lot of house to fix whenever Harry leaves. So let me tell you about some of the damage that Harry's done to the house. First thing they notice is Harry tossed the refrigerator down on the ground. All the food is spilled out on the ground, and he moved it across the room at one point, just like it was nothing. He's also the archway in the door. He's taken and crushed it up.
Oh yeah,
because he's too tall to fit, and so he doesn't immediately think duck. He thinks, let me get this out the way, and so he crushes it up. What else did he do?
With the door?
No, with just the house.
Oh, he eventually does find the antlers and stuff, and and so him and George kind of have a talk, and he's like, he doesn't understand you. And George is like, I know something to understand. So they bury all the dead, antlers and all the dead deer and whatever else. I don't remember everything that was in the house.
Not just mainly that. I was talking about it's more as the damage. He he teaches
the
George
basement
to
gets destroyed.
The stairs.
Yeah, and
he breaks the stairs.
The floor.
Yeah,
he keeps lifting George up when they have a visitor.
No. Lifts his son. Oh yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's. I guess he's just sitting there, and then George does this little calisthenics. Which it goes to his physical comedy is John Lithgow. But yeah, just such a good.
He's underrated.
Yes, very underrated, and I'm glad we still have him around. I'm glad that he showed up in Dexter.
Daddy's Home too.
Yeah,
which
he was also in. Talking about another gorilla, right? He was in or ape. He was in Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes. He plays the dad of Franco, yeah. So I forgot, and I totally forgot about that. She throws the flower down in the.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah, but he is. He's such a tremendous actor, and whether he's doing comedy, drama, whatever, he nails it every single time. But here's
my favorite scene, real quick, Brandon. So, all right, so George has So George and the RJ, right? Or I don't know the little boy's name, but they was down in the basement, and George stares at John and smiles at him, and John smiles back and just lights up. It's just a beautiful moment.
It is a beautiful
It's my
moment.
I think it's my favorite moment in this movie. It's just their connection right there. You know.
And I think that's probably really the moment George is like, okay, we gotta get him back to his home. You know, it's like, can't try to kill him. We don't want him to get taken. You know, we gotta try to get him back home. And I think that was probably the moment it clicked with him. That's like, okay.
All this product placement in this movie. There's Eggos. There's Pepsi. Like what's not? There's some type of pizza. But anyway.
But now we're talking about it. Why do you think people didn't like this movie? I mean, going back, I mean,
maybe
what didn't work with them for it, you think?
I think it could have been. It could possibly be where it was released against. And I like to see what it was when it was released. It was released June 5th, 1987. Let's see, movies released. Let's see. I'm wondering if that's the case. Released June 5th. I know this is live. 1987.
I'll go ahead and give my thoughts on why
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
think people didn't like it as much. I think people didn't like it as much because of the era it came in the 80s. You already had E.T., you already had your Goonies, you already had these family films, and they probably could think they're ripping us off with a Sasquatch. And people may not have bought into that. But I thankfully did not watch this in the 80s. I watched this in the 90s, and I remember it was on I want to say TNT or TBS at the time, and I was blown away by it. I was enthralled by this creature that was human and had so much heart and cared so much about this family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I loved that. It did remind me of E.T. a lot, but I felt I connected with Harry more and the family more.
Yeah.
Because with E.T., it's really just it's not just Elliot, but he's the main focus.
Elliot is the main focus, but this one is the Hendersons.
Yeah.
But I did answer that question, by the way. So yeah, it came out the same time as Benji the Hunted, June 5th, 1987, and then June 9th, The Believers, which no one heard about. I haven't heard about. June 19th, Roxanne with Steve Martin. So people probably went there. Inner Space, Dragnet. Blood Rage came. Oh, that's June 1st. But Hendersons, The Witches of Eastwick came out June 12th. So it had, and then this is the major ones right here.
Spaceballs.
June 24th.
Bond.
Man. And
Predator.
It got beat by Predator, and probably Full Metal Jacket as well. But yeah, it just, I think it got buried amongst everything that was coming out, and more word of mouth probably happened with Predator, and people started gravitating more towards Predator, Inner Space, Spaceballs, and
that's amazing though. He played a Sasquatch and a Predator
in the same year. Yeah,
that's.
But he does and
he replaced Jean-Claude Van Damme in Predator.
Yeah, he did.
He was originally cast as the Predator, which is a weird choice.
Yeah, it really
for
is.
any studio to go with the martial artist as a Predator.
Yeah, no, it works better with John Howell.
I agree. But I'm a massive Van Damme fan, so I mean, he would have fit more as like a Carl Weathers type.
Yeah.
But I'm glad Carl was in the movie. I'm glad that Carl Weathers got that role. I'm just saying Van Damme would have fit more, or the guy Billy, because Van Damme wasn't really known. Like, I think he got his big break in 88, not 87. Mm-hmm. So Van Damme wasn't a star back then either. So,
you know what this reminded me of watching this. It actually, even though it doesn't remind me of, because this came out prior to this, but it put me in the mind of Jumanji, and watching this with the hunter.
Okay.
Them being hunted by the hunter in Jumanji, and this guy is hunting for Sasquatch, Harry, in this movie. But it's it's not like he's a very despicable character. This guy is in order like to hunt Harry.
Yeah, I kind of wonder because they believe, both these characters believe, but they're very different people. One wants to hunt, one wants to find it, but he's given up.
He's a skeptic. Now he became it's essentially, and I know you don't really care for this movie. It's like in Fright Night, how Peter Vincent.
No, I never said I didn't care for it.
But Peter Vincent, he becomes cynical and doesn't really believe in vampires. Like the thrill's gone. The same with this guy. He doesn't really believe in Bigfoot. He did at one point. I think he said he might have saw one or encountered one, but he doesn't. Well, did he say that he ran up on it or something?
I think no, I don't think so. I think there's no evidence, to prove it. I mean, they found nothing, and that's I think that was the case, and he just gave up. He just he felt like a fool all these years believing in something that clearly wasn't true.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the scene where he's at the kitchen table telling him there is no Bigfoot, there is no Yeti, and Harry's literally standing behind him.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite scenes. I'll probably fast forward a little bit here in a minute, but and I just want to speak out on not speak out, but speak on the actor that plays Harry in this. So there's a lot of animatronics involved with his eyes and his mouth and his head and things like that. But underneath all that is a man in a costume, and the mannerism when he shrinks down a little bit or humbly. That's the guy acting. He's doing a great job. Like the guy's acting. Of course, you have somebody controlling his mouth and everything like that, but there's somebody that's underneath there emoting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they did an excellent job playing Harry, and he warms your heart.
Look how sensitive his eyes is.
I know it's he just sat on the couch and broke it.
And then everybody keeps saying sit, and so he's saying sit, so he sits. He breaks the table.
Yeah, he just destroys the living room altogether. Yeah, it's a really good family film, and you can't help but love Harry. I mean, honestly, you can't.
Yeah.
But get back to the guy that's hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like something had happened to him that made him want to kill these creatures. Like maybe he came up across one. I don't recall it ever was explained why he hates them so much.
Yeah, maybe he just felt. I don't know.
Maybe it's just the money. He was just he finds it, he kills it, he gets money.
Kind of like Eugene Levy in Splash. How Eugene Levy so wanted to capture a mermaid.
Yeah.
Daryl Hannah just wanted to capture her for exploitative purposes, not so much, because he likes them. But at the end, he has to change his heart. Have you seen?
I don't know.
Never seen Splash?
I want to say I have. I don't know.
We'll have to review Splash sometime then. But yeah.
John Candy's in it.
Tom Hanks. My boy John's in it. Yeah, absolutely. I love this part when Harry is sitting in the recliner. You see how the seat starts to go down because of his weight, and he's eating chips and watching movies, and he throws the blue cheese because he doesn't care for it. It just and he's watching pretty much, I don't know, some type of old show. I have no idea what it is. It looks like that's Andy from
Andy Griffin.
Andy Griffin, yeah, it looks like him. No, that's Ronald Reagan. That's Ronald Reagan. My bad.
Andy Griffin looks like Ronald Reagan.
Hey, they do.
They do. Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong.
They do.
You're not wrong. They do. They could pass as brothers, or they could have.
They probably could have. But that's Ronald Reagan, and that's funny because he's president in '87. So there you
go. I've never seen Ronald Reagan act before, other than that little shot right there.
Yeah. But anyway, what did you think about this scene? And were you ever hungry with this scene when he throwing these sandwiches in the car?
You know, I didn't get hungry, but I was like, pass me one, John.
Yeah, because he has like to lure him out. He has like a bag of burgers
And I just want to know where he got them.
and fish sandwiches and
Where did he have the
fries
time to go pick up burgers?
He must have left the family because we were during the day. Now it's at nighttime, so like a whole day has passed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Harry tears his bumper off and throws it in the
really
swimming
good
pool.
scene here, though, how he's luring him in, and Harry's just throwing stuff in the pool.
The neighbor's pool.
Yeah, but I really like the scene overall because they're about to get into it. Once they get him in the car, he sees them fighting, and of course he gets upset and he leaves. He kicks the door down.
He feels like he's done it.
Yeah.
He's like the way he's luring him with this sandwich is a burger, and he doesn't like beef. He kind of holds it up. It looks like a double. It's supposed to be a double cheeseburger, but there's no cheese on this burger. He throws it to the dog. So that's another little subplot that dogs was following Harry everywhere. He snatched the fish sandwich out of the boy's hand. I don't know if it's supposed to be McDonald's or not, but
I mean,
it kind of made me want a fish sandwich.
Did it make you want to fish? He made you want to fish.
Yeah.
I love the scene though. It's heartwarming at times and it's heartbreaking at times. And Harry is terrified to get in that car. He's like a dog here. You know, you're taking your dog to the vet. The dogs know where they're going.
It just always bothered me that he just throws fries and drink in there. I'm thinking, no.
It's a milkshake to wash it down.
Yeah, that's what he says.
I know.
No straw. Just and then he throws all in the
Harry
food.
don't need a straw. I just love how the fact that the milkshake doesn't fall apart. Like it's the lid stays on.
Yeah,
in
that
today's
never
time,
happened.
it wouldn't happen.
It's in the 80s. Things were meant to stay on. And then, like, when Harry sits up and puts the dent in the top of the car, because Harry's head cones up. But yeah, so they try to get rid of him, but you know, the son is upset at that, and so they go have a conversation, as Brandon says, and Harry bounces because of the like. Do you feel it's because he felt like he was coming between the family?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I feel like he was coming between the family and because he doesn't know where he's been taken. He has no idea. He just knows they're luring him in with food. But I mean, overall though, I mean, I really appreciate this movie. It warms my heart when I was watching it last night. It just warmed it. I was like, it felt. You said it felt like Spielberg.
Yeah.
I won't go that far, but I feel like Columbus.
Maybe
to me.
It had heart. It had heart.
Yeah,
That's what I meant. It had heart, and you felt the heart in it.
Yeah, it totally has heart.
And I don't know. I don't know anything about the production of this movie, but it seemed like everybody had a good time making this movie.
Yeah, it felt that way, you know. And also another one of my favorite parts of the movie was where the bicyclist was saying that Harry attacked him, and how George just goes completely off, like calling him a liar and saying, no, that's not what happened at all. You scared yourself when you saw him and you crashed, and you probably scared him half to death too, and you just ran off. Ain't that what happened, man? Ain't that what happened?
And he's like,
yes, that's what happened.
And they're like, hey, did you see it? Did you see it? I did want to mention something. So something that happens in this movie, LaFleur, the way he finds out where the Hendersons live is by going to the DMV and getting the information on where they live. Yeah. Now, that was legal. You could do that back then. But something happened shortly after this film that isn't legal. So in 1989, an actress by the name of Rebecca Schaefer was murdered by her stalker, who essentially was able to, through the DMV, get her information, go to her house.
Is that the actress from Poltergeist?
No. She was murdered by her boyfriend. That's Dominique Dunn. She was murdered by a boyfriend in the front yard. And nobody helped her. Like literally people heard her getting assaulted and nobody did anything. Which is cowards on all of y'all. Did y'all still
not much has changed. You see all these videos, these go viral, they don't help.
Yeah.
They just video it and
Yeah, I don't understand today's society, but yeah, this this lady is actress Rebecca Schaefer who was actually gonna be in like Godfather. She was auditioning for Godfather like 3 at the time, but she was like, she had been on a few. My Sister Sam, that's a big show that she was on. Out of Time, like she did a little Voyage of Terror. She's just now getting into the industry. But this guy who was obsessed with her showed up at her house and shot her because he got the information from the DMV. Laws passed now where it's private. You cannot get people's information from the DMV.
well, you shouldn't be able to. I mean,
No, you shouldn't be able to. But this movie, I just want to point that out. I thought about that when I seen this movie because you can't do that now, and it just shows you the difference in the time frame. Just like if you ever see movies and people running through the airports and stuff like that, you can't do that these days. There's no way you can just run into the airport.
no, you especially today's time. I mean, you run into an airport, they're gonna think you got a bomb or you're trying to attack someone or you're doing something illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think of running in the airports, I always think of Home Alone.
Yeah, you can't do it. You can't. That Home Alone scene would not work today.
No, not a chance. It's a lot that won't work today for that movie, but
But yeah, so
like Kevin would have been taken away from that family.
So I'm trying to skip it to like this is a funny scene. I want to get your thoughts on it. So I'm gonna set it up. So Harry, like as Brandon stated, Harry is no longer. Let me say this real quick too. You know what? I misremembered this movie because I always thought that the whole movie was essentially Harry with the Hendersons the whole time, and them hiding them and stuff like that. But in reality, Harry's with them for maybe the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after that, he's on his own adventure.
Yeah, he's kind of like King Kong.
Yeah.
Running through this town.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good comparison, actually.
I see it. He's kind of like King Kong, and people are trying to hunt him down, and he's destroying the city. He didn't destroy the city like King Kong, but you get vibes that this is their version of King Kong.
But
like with a
more
Sasquatch.
gentle.
Yeah, more gentle, not trying to
the scale
do any
of
harm.
Yeah, but
unless they're trying to harm people he cares for.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was gonna ask you this real quick. So, did you remember this movie this way? As far as like I said, I always thought and remembered it being Harry with the Hendersons the whole movie essentially, and maybe there's a moment where it split up, but I didn't realize that happened so early in the movie. Did you recall it that way or?
No, I honestly didn't. But I didn't think about it either. Like I wasn't thinking like your brain goes. It works differently.
Yeah.
You think? Well, I didn't remember that. No, I watched this movie a few years back with Dawson, and because I love to show him movies, family films during the '80s, to show him the difference.
Best decade, yeah.
And he, for the most part, he really loves what I showed him. But he loved this movie, and he didn't want to watch it at first. He thought it was a horror movie because it was Sasquatch. I was like, it's a family film. You'll enjoy it. I promise you'll love it. And he did. But no, I didn't remember that exactly that they split up early on. And I've seen this movie 6-7 times. I would say
too, probably.
I just never recall it because I don't. What I remember for the most part is George and Harry. Their bond.
Yeah.
And I think that has stuck with me since childhood. Their bond and how Harry was so lovable. So that's what I remember the most. When I'll probably forget a lot of stuff that I saw last night, like that he ventures out on his own. But I do remember the bicyclist scene. That stood out. It always has. And I always have loved George in that moment. Because he loses it. He goes crazy for a second because he's defending his friend, and then he realizes all the cameras are on him. He's like, he becomes like this really shy person.
I think what I remember, what I always will remember about this movie is the scene where he lifts the little boy up, and then he meets him face to face.
Yeah.
And that smile, I will always remember that. This scene right here with the chicken, the lady with the chicken in the pot. So she's preparing a dinner. She's about to boil a chicken. Looks like she makes some type of chicken and vegetables. She puts the chicken in the pot, but at the same time, it's a juxtaposition to a couple getting into a jacuzzi, and so she hangs the chicken and starts to put it slowly down in the pot of water. And he turns around and he sees it looks like he's throwing his wife into a pot of water. Just the look on his face is like, what am I seeing? It's just the funniest thing. And it's not like as Brandon said earlier, there's no words being spoken.
Yeah.
It's all and he starts getting sad. He feels like they're bullying themselves. But then that person says, "Hey, get away from the window!" But and then they see Harry and they scream. And also his run is very similar to the old Sasquatch footage.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that?
I did notice that, and they did their research on it, and you can't help but appreciate the movie. I mean, I would think. I mean, I appreciate the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I love the movie. I think it's just such a good time. I mean, it's more than just a fan. I don't know. I feel like it's magic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as good as some of those other movies we mentioned, but there's still something special about it.
And it hurts my feelings really to know that the people haven't responded to this movie. And going back to your question to me, it could have been just because it came out with a lot of other great movies, all in their own. Spaceballs, all of them, the Bond movie, everything was Predator,
Mm-hmm.
came up against a lot of movies at that time. Inner Space is one of my other favorite movies. But it could also be that just, I don't know, it just got lost in the cracks of like between E.T. and the Goonies and everything else,
The only reason I say its decade hurt it because we did have E.T., you did have the Goonies, and this kind of feels like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's this adventure family film, and people could probably feel like it's ripping off those films
Mm-hmm.
just with a Sasquatch. And I think it's unfair. I really do. I feel like this movie stands on its own. It has its own voice, and you can compare it to those films, sure.
So it's like sandwiched between like
the Goonies to E.T.
It's sandwiched between like movies like Goonies and stuff, but you have then Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, in '89, which people remember more of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, I would say, because it's Disney. Yeah. It's a Disney product.
Yeah, I mean, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is it still gets mentioned today.
Yeah.
You can't think of Rick Moranis and not think of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just no way. I don't care if you're a massive Ghostbusters fan or not. When you think Rick, you think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I can't think of one person would say Rick Moranis. Oh yeah, he's the actor from Ghostbusters.
No,
or Spaceballs. Yeah. And he's amazing in both. But when you think Rick Moranis,
you immediately think Honey.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you. When you think of Emilio Estevez, what do you think of?
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
But then also Young Guns. I immediately think that too.
But yeah, I think Young Guns, but also I
think Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks. Going to Bombay.
That's his breakout role, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was his.
That's his legacy.
That is his legacy.
That's his legacy. Like
I love him as Billy, but
like with the new series on Disney, people want Bombay.
Yeah,
people want Bombay. It's like
without this new Mighty Ducks show, you don't get a Young Guns 3 that you're getting.
Yeah.
So I mean,
we're getting the 3.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And they're bringing back Chavez somehow.
I don't know how.
I was hoping for Doc too, but apparently not. Kiefer signed up for something else. So,
but Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. Roger Rabbit came out this year.
Yeah, I mean, the 80s had it all. I mean, I think back and look at these scores, Rotten Tomatoes and audience scores.
I love how he blows up on this guy. So this guy, there's a guy that wants automatic weapons, and he's like, hey, well, for one, they're illegal, and then like he said, anything with scope, night vision, and stuff like that. He said, yeah. We're out of big guns and bigger guns and big guns. And he said, I seen them up a block from my house. And he said, where do you live? He says, what for? He said, just for the gun. And he tells him exactly where he lives, and he's done. Like, and in this moment too is him quitting because he realized, and I never noticed the heart in this, like how his father, ruined his art. Like to not care so much about somebody's art. It's like if I made this podcast with you, Brandon, and then somebody takes it and remove us from it and just put somebody else in it or change it or alter it or take our thoughts and make it something else. It's like it's a hurtful thing. And so
I mean, I feel you on that. I really do. Because he didn't respect his art in that scene, which he hasn't respected him. As his as you said earlier, he didn't respect his dreams.
Here comes your part.
Yes, he's about to go off on the bicyclist man, and I love it. I mean, it's one of my favorite parts in the trailer. It's one of my favorite parts in the movie. It's just he's phenomenal in this scene.
What it reminds me of is I just thought about this when I was a kid. Like in the winter, I remember going outside. I don't know who did it. It could have been a prank, but I'm gullible too, so I went outside. And somebody had big footprints in my front yard going towards like the back somewhere. And I always thought Bigfoot crossed in my yard, Harry. And honestly, that was my thought in my mindset was Harry. Harry was here. Could have been somebody like, well, let's mess with Harry. But I thought, like who didn't want magic to be real? Who didn't want Harry to be real or Gizmo or
I used to when I was a kid, I used to play Pet Cemetery games.
Oh my gosh, man!
But
what do you mean?
Like we would.
Wait a minute, we gotta unpack that. What do you mean, Brandon? Like the movie Pet Cemetery?
Yeah, the movie Pet Cemetery. It was a little small group of us. We had a creek behind my parents' house, and behind the creek there was this urban legend that we bury something, it'll come back to life, like Pet Cemetery.
Oh my gosh. It went dark.
It went dark, but they said it was like an Indian burial ground. It's just one of those things kids do, And I was like, well, we should bury some animals out here, right? See if they come back, and and we did. We buried I believe Clint or Craig's. I think they buried a dog back there, and obviously nothing came back to life.
Well, thank God.
But yeah, as you were saying, we want magic to be real.
Yes. Yes, we do.
But it was. I just remember those times we would watch these movies in the 80s and just we would believe the hype. What we were watching was real.
Y'all probably can't hear this, but I'm playing this for Brandon.
Just calm down and tell me what happened. Okay. I'm okay. I brought my poor 10-speed to a complete stop, like I always do at stop signs. When out of nowhere, this humongous hairy thing is standing right in front of me, growl, with these enormous fangs and these giant hands. And he grabs me, and he picks me up, biking all over his head, then he smashes me down on the cement. And now, he's all over me, and he's snarling with saliva dripping off his pointed teeth. So I grab my mace. What? Mace, you idiot! Get back. You really, Mason? I was about to be eaten by a vegetarian! That's it, officers! Look, I have no doubt that you saw him. But what really happened is when you saw him, you were so scared shitless that you crashed your precious 10-speed into the stop sign, bumped your head on the curb, and probably scared him half to death in the process. All right. That's what really happened, isn't it? Isn't it? Yes!
You know what this scene reminds me of?
What?
Liar, liar. When Jim is
in the courtroom.
In the courtroom, the cross-examine his client's lover.
Mm-hmm.
You banged her, didn't you? You hammered her. Sorry, but Jim was like,
yeah, I know for sure.
I'm sorry. I see that image in my head. I see Jim going Jim. I gotta get excited.
You gotta go Jim.
I gotta go Jim. I love Jim.
But also, there's a sweet moment here where, like a lot of people seen this Sasquatch in town. This man is running around here tearing TVs out of TV shops. And it's like back in the day, it was like huge screens, but it's so small now. But anyway, but yeah. Uh, so the another scene that really and Brandon alluded to it earlier is when I'm getting past the whole stuff with the garbage and stuff. There was one funny scene with the garbage, right? So Harry stinks already, but he lands in garbage, so he's really really bad.
That is like, I'm glad that was in the movie. That
The mustiness.
Yes, and his smell and like, because they say that they really do stink. Like
That's why they call him like the abominable snowman.
Yeah.
Abominable is for his odor.
yeah.
So
I'm glad that
I'm
was.
glad I know this stuff.
Because there was
facts.
there was one movie that was actually supposed to be based on a true story that I watched a few years back, and that was one of the things in the movie. It was like the smell, the odor was really bad. It's like something was been dead for like months and just come back to life or whatever, and I'm just glad that was in the movie, because they were paying respect to the lore of the creature, you know, whether it's real or not, they still respected it, and it's one of the things I like about it.
So here's the scene where the doctor says there is no such thing as a Bigfoot, and he turns around and Harry's standing right there. He looks up at him, and Harry smiles at him, and he's not terrified, you know. I think he's more shocked, but he's just, you can tell it's like a kid seeing that Santa Claus is real or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. When you gave up on it, and the realization is, oh, it's real. Not just Santa Claus, but something you believed in.
He gives a Yahoo.
Yeah,
who knew that'd become like a real search engine, right? But anyway.
Who knew? Who knew, Aaron? Yahoo!
But yeah, he told him to sit, and then he messes around and tells him to sit, and then he jumps. Oh, this poor George's house, poor house. His house is destroyed.
And the look on his face, it's like, yep, that just happened. But I mean, overall, throughout this whole movie, you can't help but love the Hendersons and love Harry, and you love the doctor.
Look how he eats his celery. It's like a kid sitting at a table. I love this scene. So LaFleur falls in the garbage too, right?
Yeah.
And so he's in jail pacing, and everybody's pacing away from him. It's subtle, but it's so funny. Watch him move to the other side. They just don't want to be nowhere near the guy. Hardened criminals is like, I don't want to be by this dude. But it's so funny. And I love, what I love about this movie is at the end, we'll probably wrap it up, but is how he wants to hunt. Yeah. So, you know, the doctor and the Hendersons, they take Harry back, and this LaFleur guy wants to kill him. Mm-hmm. But Harry sees him and jumps out of a tree and grabs him and holds him. And then, like, the guy starts fighting him. He said, "Don't let him kill me! Don't let him kill me! Don't let him kill me!" And then he essentially starts rubbing him like the dog to calm him down. Mm-hmm. And then, like, the guy sees that he's gentle. He's not gonna harm me, and it changes LaFleur from a hated character to a likable character, in my opinion.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And then they kind of set it up, possible sequel with those two characters hunting Loch Ness.
Of course, now obviously Doctor's dead now. You know, he passed away years ago. But
one of the most emotional scenes in the movie came right before all that, when George was trying to get Harry to go. And he ended up hitting him, and you just felt that because he didn't want to. You felt both emotions. George,
he's trying to save him.
Yeah, and Harry wasn't understanding. He's like, "Why does he want me to leave?" You know, it's just a heartwarming scene. It felt emotional. It felt good. It hit you in the right heartstrings. This whole movie hit you though in the right places, and that's why I don't understand the score. That's why I was asking you earlier what possible reason
I
do you
don't
think
have
people dislike this movie
I
for?
don't have a good reason. And so look, they're so happy they got out. But he stinks. But anyway, anyway, I was gonna ask you about this. At the end of the movie, when Harry's walking off into the woods, all of a sudden, and I didn't see them, and I had to rewind it to look at it.
Yeah.
I totally didn't see
The other Sasquatches.
the other Sasquatches. I totally missed them. And wow, it's just like
Yeah.
And I went back and looked at it several times, and then by the third time I did see them, but it's just like it's amazing.
They're good at hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, and they really was hidden, and I was like, oh man, I think I remembered that scene happened, but then I forgot that it happened.
Yeah,
too.
I forgot it happened.
I love that when he gives her back the flowers.
Yeah,
because he ate hers.
He's got such a good heart. He
And like when he pats her on the head and just knocks her down, he has a tendency to do that. But yeah, I'm trying to get to that scene real quick, just to, for what I'm talking about. That's when he jumped down on the floor, and it's right in here. Just and he says goodbye to the whole family. Harry does, but because he says the only word Harry says in some movie is okay.
Yeah.
The whole time he said okay, and he said okay. He takes the flower over into the flower for me, act like he didn't eat it, and then he laughs. I heard you laugh. Just a sweet movie, man. This family would never be the same, and you kind of feel like the Hendersons would drive up here on occasion just to see Harry. Look, now I see them right now because I'm looking for them. But if you didn't, you wouldn't have noticed that. Then the little Sasquatch pops up. I thought me and my cousin, when we were younger, thought we seen a small one in a garage here in Bowling Green, like literally, like Jamal. Ask my cousin Jamal. Anyway, we looked at it, we had a flashlight, we shined it, and we seen something fall down, and we thought, oh, we thought it was Fuzz Bucket because that was another movie we liked growing up.
Yeah.
So have you seen Fuzz Bucket?
I have not.
Oh, it's on Disney. Well, you ain't got it, but it's on there. William Deere directed this film. And I also like what they did here at the end with the animation, how they animated like stuff like this scene right here. It flickers and then it goes into animation. And then see that, just that smile. It's just such a great movie. All right, you ready to give your scores?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'll let you go first.
I'm gonna give it a respectable 4 out of 5 on the Markout meter.
That's what I'm giving it to. 4 out of 5. I think that it's a forgotten gem that if you haven't seen it, I hope that it's streaming. It's on HBO Max. If you haven't seen it, man, take time to watch this movie. Kids will love it. Your children love this movie. Brandon, as a father,
I can.
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
I do. I agree with you that they would love this movie.
And it's not too much for kids.
No. It's look. Now Dawson didn't love the Goonies. So I don't know. I don't understand that at all. But he didn't love the Goonies. But like he loves this movie.
Was Sloth too scary?
Maybe. I don't know. It just threw me for a loop. He didn't love it because I was expecting him to love it. I mean, it's the Goonies. He was like, it was all right. Maybe certain films, just won't hit him like they hit us as kids. But Homeward Bound's another one he adores. But yeah, he loved this. He thought it was a lot of fun.
He kicks him in the.
Yeah, and I love when he kicks him in the groin there. That he kind of. He laughs about it at first, then like the pain hits like a few seconds later, because that's kind of how it is. Yeah, it's like
the look on his face, and he's like, oh,
it hurts, man. When you get kicked there, you ever been kicked there?
Yeah. I mean, who hasn't?
I mean, I got kicked there one time playing football.
Well, sorry for you.
And we got in a fight, and
Well, yeah.
I beat the guy up.
Well, dang, Brandon.
Well, I mean, you know, he kicked me.
Pet cemeteries and beating up people in school.
No, I mean, he kicked me there on purpose. And
we both give it 4 markouts out of 5.
then
John
he threw a
Lithgow,
punch at me. I mean, I had to defend myself.
Kevin Peter Hall, rest in peace. You know, this movie was excellent. I can't say no much more good things about it. It's just a good movie.
It is a good movie. It's
I hate that, and it just bums me out that a lot of people don't care for this movie like that, I guess.
Yeah, it's got like a 2.8 on Letterboxd.
It's crazy. That's mind blowing to me, because this movie, maybe because it resonated so much with my childhood. Of course, I didn't put it on my 80s best movie list, but it was on there.
Yeah, it was on mine.
You know,
too,
but there's other stuff that I like more than that. Like I'm not gonna lie, Gremlins is my stuff. I love Gremlins. As you can see, I have Gizmo up there. But Gremlins is my stuff, and so
I don't see Gizmo. I see the little.
See his there?
No, I don't.
All right, yeah,
But you probably, if you raise it all the way up, you'll see it.
he's right there. Anyway,
You see it?
right there, pointing at him.
Okay, I see it now.
He's hidden.
He's hidden
He's
behind your head.
a Mogwai. But anyway,
Yeah,
what
you're
we
right. Amblin.
What are we doing next week?
We are doing he's wanting to do the blockbusters, summer blockbusters.
We're doing 4 now, and then we'll take a break and do some more stuff, and then we'll do some more 4. Then we're gonna end with some flopbusters, stuff that wasn't as good, but we liked.
But yeah, we're gonna review Independence Day next week. So I mean,
That's a good one.
it's
I liked it, but
I mean, who doesn't like the first Independence Day?
a lot of people actually.
Really?
Yeah, you'll be surprised.
I would be.
But
Oh man,
Yeah,
I did not know this. I was like, I mean, it's essentially what made Will Smith a major star. I mean, right? I mean, I know he did Bad Boys before that, but this one, he went to the roof.
yeah,
Jeff
Goldblum steals the show.
steals it. Bill Pullman. I mean,
Yeah. Who? Then Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid, man,
Yeah.
he gets abducted by aliens, and he says they did something to him.
They probably did. Well, Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
We are the
Markout Movie Podcasters.
Thank you for marking out with us.